I'm going to open our meeting with a pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Greetings, everyone. We'll have roll call. Councilman Mays here. Councilman Fritz is not here. Councilman Zawala is here. Councilman Einbach is here. Councilman Eggert is here. Councilman Geibel is here. The mayor is here. Our engineer is here. The Reverend is here. Mr. Lubenow is not here. Councilman Lubenow is not here. Our solicitor is here. And our roadmaster is here. So roll call has been taken. Is there a motion to approve our November 11th, 2021 council minutes before you? Are there any additions, clarifications, corrections? Can the minutes be approved as presented?
Motion to approve minutes as presented. Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Next item up on our agenda, approval and payment of bills. So the following expenditures are as of December 7th, 2021. Out of our general fund, there's $90,685.91. Out of the sewer fund, $11,517.74. Fire tax fund, $5,000. In liquid fuels fund, $10,133.01.
Motion to approve payment of the bills as presented. Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded for approval and payment of the bills as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Account approval of the treasurer's report. Before you see a treasurer's report for this month. The total cash available, general funds is $451,346.43. Total cash available in reserve accounts, $77,174.55. Total cash available in the fire tax fund account, $9,232.01. Total cash available in sewer fund account, $335,600.16. And the total cash available in the liquid fuels account is $265,505.82. We have a 3209 Ole Turnpike Road escrow account showing a balance of $15,172.50. Is there any questions about the treasurer's report? Can the treasurer's report be approved as presented?
Motion to approve treasurer's report as presented and file for. Second.
Motion's been moved and accepted to file for audit the consolidated treasurer's report for November 2021. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Presentation. Any public comments from anybody? And we have no physical members of the public here today. Is there anyone on the Zoom account? They can certainly send in a signal and we will stop and get back to them as part of public comment. Consultant's report, Borough Engineer.
Other than what's in my report, I don't have anything else to add.
Any questions from council on the engineer's report?
I saw the accolade sign.
Yeah, the accolade will hopefully be off of this report
It's
next month.
Nice to use the local contractor too.
Yes.
Outstanding. Solicitor, you have anything to report?
My items are covered elsewhere, which is the small wireless facilities amendment to the zoning ordinance proposed. And I believe also the potential agreement with no nonsense neutering.
All right.
You want to cover those now or later in the agenda?
Yeah, the no nonsense neutering will go reverse order. We're still trying to knock out some issues on how we want to do it.
Yeah.
And essentially, we would be paying no nonsense neutering a fee to neuter feral cats. And it sounds like what we want to do now is have presented in the newsletter. Hey, if you see a feral cat and you can trap it, this is where, if you call and get it to this place, the borough picks up the fee. And then you have to call the borough office first in order to get authorization or an e-voucher or something. So when they go up there, they know to bill us and they don't, that person doesn't have to bill. So
That's different.
But we have a proposed language on, but we're not sure if they're gonna be amicable to all that. So we would like to probably push that to the January 3rd
Yeah. I know.
meeting.
If you wanted. to
Yeah, we
discuss
can
any-
distribute it if anybody wants to review it or anything like that, but that's sort of the gist of it.
I had reviewed it, Allison had sent it to me, I sent back review comments, she incorporated those comments into the draft document. So we need to see whether or not no nonsense neutering would accept those changes.
And all it would do would be change the effective date, if they do, to January 3rd.
Right, we make it effective January 3rd as we go ahead and
And
offer.
before you just go and tell them your address.
Well, that, there
They
was some-
sort of knew that
It's
it was state bar.
whether they have an ability to look up addresses anymore, or they don't have time to. They are the ones who came up with the voucher system, because they're looking at it as 19606 and not separating out municipalities. It's always been the problem with the ARL as well. In anything.
My personal experience, I would mention St. Lawrence Borough, so.
there's an issue that perhaps if someone was keen to that, they could trap anywhere and just say St. Lawrence Borough. And we'd just be getting, be paying the fee. So there's trying to be some sort of transactional, prior to the neutering.
Now, it does cap the number at 25 per year without express authorization of the borough.
Because we're paying how much per meter?
$40.
$40. So there's a, yeah.
$40, which actually is
Yeah.
it is a very good price when you're talking about spay neuter, deworming,
Rabies.
and rabies shot, yeah, and I believe, and the tipping of the ear, so. there's-
Well, nail clipping now is an extra service that
That's
the
extra.
person would have to.
Right. Well, with nail clipping, that's more for a domestic cat, so it doesn't destroy the
But I
house,
would-
it can't be brought.
I was trying to think whether we should have a heart traps here available, so, that no one has to go shell out money to go get a trap. We would loan them a trap. I have one at home, I think I could bring in.
I have one too, that's just sitting in my garage,
Right.
cat in the dust.
And then by the time they haul it up to Allentown anyway,
Right, it's across town.
Oh, across town? I thought it was Allentown.
No, Allentown is
It's even on
It's
the-
a corporate address.
Oh, okay.
it's Fresh Valley Road in Reading.
I think Kenny Happy.
Yeah,
Is that over near Hayford Patrol?
Yeah, it's Muhlenberg area.
Okay.
Allison, get a deposit.
Well,
We would track them down if they kept trapping cats. I'd be happy someone would be using it.
Yeah. I mean, as I recall, there was pretty
Yeah.
serious
He's a
problems.
little upset.
When I lived in the townhouses.
So we're sort of trying to figure out, to get as easy as possible for everyone.
No.
It's not all bad.
No.
And the ordinance for the small wireless facilities.
Yeah,
that's for them. They have not had a chance to read it or review it,
Okay.
so.
So we want you to take this all home and we'll put this on the January 3rd also agenda
all right.
and see if
And
there's
it
anything.
really has not,
Yeah.
it's just moving it towards the planning
It's
commission.
moving it towards the planning commission, the borough and the county planning commission. It's a land use ordinance and it has to be adopted as a land use ordinance. Even though what is being adopted statewide is very similar. I mean, there are just several models of them, one for smaller, medium-sized and larger municipalities. But it's to bring it into line with the FCC's 2018 order and bring it into line with the federally sanctioned fees for right-of-way use and applications.
So if council is amicable to that, that's, something we'll move on the 3rd. And Mayor, you have a report for us tonight?
I do.
Outstanding.
Oh, this is good news. The November Central Berks Police Report shows a decline in service calls to our borough. Presently, we represent only 11% of the calls made by the department. On November the 4th, Chief Ray Seraphin presented the Meritorious Service Award to Officer John Verno for his exceptional courage while on duty, stopping and apprehending a suspect just as the suspect was burglarizing a closed business in Ole Township. No weapons were discharged during the action. Holiday activities and family gatherings can get kind of hectic. We enjoy the fellowship at these events, but that also brings a greater risk of fire. Here are a few important fire safety tips every family member should know. 1, have a fire emergency plan to vacate if necessary. 2, never leave candles burning in an unattended room. 3, lighted candles do not belong on greeneries or trees. 4, choose decorations that are flame resistant or flame retardant. 5, replace any string of lights with worn or broken cords or loose bulb connections. Do not overload extension cords. Number 6, test your smoke alarms. Number 7, stay in the kitchen when cooking on the stovetop. And 8, before heading to bed, blow out all the lit candles, turn off all the light strings and decorations. As always, I say, be well and stay safe.
Thank you, Mayor. Go to Department Staff Reports, Borough Zoning Code Enforcement, anything to report?
No, I envision probably in January, sending a whole bunch of letters out that have been waiting to go be written, actually. I figured the pool that was installed without any permits isn't going anywhere, so.
Yeah, once again, above ground pools, because they have a filter that's electrical, that becomes an issue that they're supposed to get a permit, so that gets inspected.
UCC,
Yeah.
electrical, building, oh, yeah.
So. And that's, is there a minimum height on those above ground pools?
Yeah,
It's not a kiddie wading pool, like
It
6
needs a-
inches. gotta
It
be-
needs 48 inches, and if it doesn't, it needs a fence that is self-closing, self-latching gate.
So,
And also the ladder needs to be able to be locked in the opposition.
Yeah.
Public Works, Safety, Sewer, Streets, Stormwater, Roadmaster.
Mr. Rehab plans on, or is starting the work for the lining project on Monday, the 13th. They'll be here all next week doing all the lining work that council approved. We placed out door tags to those areas because there's gonna be some traffic mitigations that might be going on, so people's driveways may be blocked, so they're all aware of what's coming up. And then we also had a traffic signal taken out of Elm Street, in St. Lawrence Avenue on Wednesday. That's already-
Yeah.
Windstorm was, yeah.
No, I got run over. So it was actually a hit and run, but the police were able to track the guy down right up on Branch Street, didn't get very far. So
Because of damage to the vehicle?
apparently not, his car was fine except for a flat tire.
Oh,
Two flat tires. He fell asleep at the wheel.
So that's been repaired, that's already back up and running, we have this information for insurance.
so I was talking to Roadmaster, we've now had 2 signals hit in approximately 3 years. And maybe we were very lucky because this is gonna be an insurance claim on his insurance. But maybe because we now have cameras at the signals, if we can configure a way how we can capture the camera signals for future events, and maybe store them from some period of time and then, but maybe we should be thinking, we got awful lucky probably that they captured the guy and all that stuff. So, it might be worth a couple $100 to try to figure out if we can do it. The cameras are already there, we could get.
Can we legally?
I don't know why we can't. We don't, as long as you don't record a voices, you're allowed under the wiretap law in Pennsylvania. You're required image
You,
at a time.
right, I mean, you can have video cameras in a public.
Right.
You have no expectation of privacy in a public place.
Right, and as long as it's not, the camera's not aimed into any area where there's an expectation of privacy.
Right. An intersection, I don't think
No.
there's.
So we'll discuss that and try to see if there's some sort of other angle on that. But I'm getting concerned now. That's our big ticket item. They could cost us higher insurance rates.
Well, and we already up the insurance coverage on
Right.
all the intersections because of the improvements to them.
And I don't know if we're gonna save the sewer stuff for old business, we're gonna do that right
Go ahead.
now. Okay. Last council meeting, we talked about approving additional work in the springtime for Mr. Rehab. The total amount of money that had allocated was $332,000 of work that should be done. 250,000 of that would be stuff that Mr. Rehab identified as repairs that should be made. Both priority ones and priority twos, and then an additional $80,000 in stuff that would just connect sections together that are being repaired, so we don't have to come back to them down the road.
So we have a bad section here, not so bad, bad downstream. So it sort of makes sense just to go through the whole thing.
Yeah, there's so Patton Street, there's gonna be one section of Patton Street and the other section of Patton Street, and there's 75 feet left in the middle.
Might as well do it.
Identified within.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the total amount of that would come to 332,000, all set together, all the lining, all the manhole lines, point repairs, all that stuff together.
Yeah, so I was gonna suggest that maybe we bump our budget amount to like 10 or 15%, because you always find something, and it might make more sense to at least.
Traffic control.
Yeah, it might make more sense. 10 used to be almost standard, you know, when you're working big projects like that, but I'm wondering if 15 really would make more sense. So, and this only captures how much money we're gonna end up borrowing. So, you know, so does 10 sound reasonable to council, or 15? And we just sort of need a sort of consensus on that.
Well, I think if we go 15 and don't need it, we can always apply that right back. to the loan.
Right, we pay the loan off, right? Yeah. So maybe in the real world, we know what we've documented for repair, and we're gonna put contingency of 15%. Does that sound okay?
And what this does is it freezes.
It locks our pricing in the springtime.
Right. So we need a motion to authorize Mr. Rehab to perform all the additional work that he so noted as priority 1, priority 2, which sort of rounds out to around $332,000.
And our priorities.
Right, and our priorities.
I would
Correct.
also recommend that when you line the pipe, you go from structure to structure.
You mean from manhole to manhole? You know, we don't start anywhere in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't they really do that though?
So that's how we line or identify everything so far.
Yeah, so all our sections are manhole to manhole.
Yeah.
We would
Because then the manhole gets lined too, because that entire area is done, there's no missing
Right.
sections.
That's our standard procedure developed right after the last project.
I'll make a motion, we authorize the sewer work with Mr. Rehab for spring of 2022 in the amount of $332,450. And put aside a 15% contingency of $49,867, totaling $382,317.
And this is all work being done by co-stars, which means we don't have to have a bid or anything like that. No bonding or anything. So motion's been seconded by the Reverend. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Anything else?
That's it for public works.
Awful lot of money.
That's how much we'd spend if we didn't do it.
Yeah, but in reality, about every
That's.
20 years?
10 years.
10 years,
10 years is the
Yeah.
last time that we
We're-
spent about.
we're getting about a third of it done every 10 years, and it's sort of, you know, but this stuff, the lining they put in there, that's supposed to be like 60 years or
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, they guarantee it for what, 20?
It's near permanent.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of it in there that's still very good. So I mean, I think we're doing just as good as a brand new piece of
We're
pipe.
doing some point repairs on original lining, that was the old bolt in place,
I think that's just 40 years old.
yeah. So,
Wow.
and as we go through it, the standard procedure that we've adopted is line the manhole, complete sections.
And once again, we plan to have a meeting with P American sometime first quarter. Talk to them about all this stuff and talk to them about rates and our I don't know if we want to call it contingency. We have a surcharge amount we put in our rate with them for I&I and stuff like that. And we want to discuss, once all this work gets done, how that number may not be maybe more than adequate. So it should be reduced. So that's the goal and all that stuff.
I would do it based on percentage of.
Right.
Done.
Right. Well, in our world, once this all gets repaired, everything's fine. There should be no I, you know, until we find, 10 more years.
In theory.
Yeah. Anything in finance? Oh, you want to talk about how much money you want to borrow then?
Well, you're going so far out of the sequence of stuff.
No, I'm right here on finance under department staff report.
Yeah, I know, but
So-
you're working forward and back.
So I won't, so we'll move on.
Because that stuff is under new business.
So manager, anything?
No, we actually, surprisingly enough, even has sold more homes. We flew through the, budgeting on income that, we're 100,000 ahead without the ARPA funds.
All right, committee commission reports, emergency management, anything to report? Library, anything to report?
Report means next week.
Municipal land, Warren's not here, so we probably don't have any recreation, anything to report?
Nothing.
Planning commission, no need for meeting,
Well, they will,
With the
once
small wireless
you do
facility.
the, yeah,
and zoning, nothing.
Is that gonna be for December, because that would be next week?
no.
No, that'll.
Yeah,
No, next
the
year.
council will send it to them.
So we'll go to old business on our agenda. A was discussion about the small wireless, which we're pushing for a motion, for resolution on our next meeting of January 3rd. Item B, Berks Nature Conservation Agreement, that's on me, but I had promised Warren we wouldn't act on that this meeting, so we'll put that again on the January 03 meeting. C, potential new open burning ordinance replacing ordinance 388. So there should be a copy of proposed ordinance in here. I haven't had a chance to read it. Do you guys want to read it and work on that on January 3rd also? or-
Have any kind of comment? about
Well, let me back up. At one point, we had to ban open burning unless you're an agricultural entity in order to help Exeter get their trout run recycling chipper, wooder, and everything like
that?
that.
That's how we got our,
Well, no, we got the truck because it was a solid waste grant.
we got the truck through, part of the reason is
Because
because
we
we
take
were,
land, we take yard waste, it doesn't go into landfills, it goes down there.
and people aren't burning.
Right,
leaves and
so
stuff like
in
that.
order to move everything down there, we had to swear and have an ordinance that there's no open burning for common folk. But you can if you're agricultural. So does that change any of that
This,
stuff?
it does not change. What this does is go through and gives teeth for basically regulating the residential burning of fire pits, and however you want to call what they're using these days besides chimeneas and everything else, where it says what they have to do, who's responsible, how they go about doing it, and then who has the authorization to tell somebody to stop doing it, like the police or fire company personnel, code enforcement. It gives it something that somebody can read and say, okay, you know, I can't argue with them because they can do this, and the police know that they can do it. The fire company can know they can tell somebody they have to put something out, and hopefully, we've taken care of people understanding their responsibility when they have a fire. We didn't really define it well in the previous ordinance.
Is there any, does council want to go ahead and vote for publication, which then we would vote for?
John hasn't even.
Oh,
seen
you haven't
it
even looked at it
yet.
Move this to January 3rd agenda, please.
Yes, that was so
Done.
people could look at it and comment.
So we need a motion to adopt the final 2022 budgets for general fund, sewer fund, fire tax fund, and liquid fuels fund.
Yes.
Will we do that in all one motion, solicitor?
I
It has to be
think-
four separate.
I believe you can do it in one motion.
We have the numbers written down like in one place. Hot damn.
You have a copy of it in there.
I know, but I'm doing very poorly tonight. I'm so riled up over moving cats. So, general fund, our budget would be,
There were cookies for you.
yeah, no, I'm substance cookies, huh? Yeah.
Expenditures are there.
Yeah, so for general fund, we're showing beginning cash balance of $435,292. Correct. Revenue projected $958,611. Expenditures of $958,014 that would show an outflow net cash inflow. That's outflow. So $4,404, all projected. That's our general fund.
Yeah.
Then for sewer fund, we show starting at $3,023, $151.15. Revenue would be $343,750, and expenditures of $478,644.58. The net outflow is $134,894.58. So fire tax budget starts at beginning cash of $5,014.38. Revenues $50,298.23. We'll expend $49,948.78. Net outflow, net balance at the end would be $349.45.
And that expenses includes disbursements.
Yes. And then finally, liquid fuel budget is starting $256,038.66. We'll have revenue of $48,705.32. Expenses of $87,300. So we should have a cash balance
That's the
and outflow for, and then our net balance would be $217,443.98. Thus are the proclaimed budgets that for 2022. Is there a motion to accept the budgets as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to approve and I guess publish.
They were already.
Already published. We have finalized. This is to finalize our budget. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Now we need motion to approve ordinance 449, which is our 2022 real estate tax ordinance. And will be a general
7.7.
7 mils for the general and 0.68 mils for sewer.
No,
Fire, sorry, that
Sorry.
was me. That was. Boo-boo.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 449-2022, the real estate tax ordinance saying the general rate at 7 mils and the fire at 0.68 mil.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, all opposed, motion passes. So we had, our roadmaster talk a little about Mr. Rehab work. We talked about a 50% contingency and so we should be good to go on that, correct?
Yes.
New business. Motion to advertise the following: January 3rd, 2022 reorganization meeting and January council meeting, which would be changed. We would combine that meeting. So we would typically start the reorganization meeting at
7:30.
7:30. Everybody gets reorganized. Those who just got elected to council in the last election need to come a little bit earlier
And gets one.
to get sworn in. Okay. And then we were also going to advertise our 2022 council meeting schedule.
which you have a copy of in your.
And then we would also publish the 2022 planning commission meeting schedule. So by having all that in one public notice, we save somewhat some money.
Make a motion to advertise those schedules, to be done by the borough manager.
Answer my question.
Motion been moved and seconded for advertising the reorganization meeting, the January council meeting, the 2022 council meeting scheduled for the full year, and the 2022 planning commission meeting scheduled for the full year. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. We now have a motion to approve resolution 857-2021, which is to reappoint Dave Smith to the zoning hearing board, which is a 3-year term beginning on January 1st next year and going for 2 years.
3 years.
22, 23, all 24.
Oh,
Expires
24,
in
all
12/31,
24.
24.
Gotcha. So it's a 3-year term.
Yeah,
Motion to approve resolution 857-2021, reappointing David Smith as zoning hearing board for a 3-year term.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded for the appointment of David Smith to the zoning hearing board. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Item C on new business. Motion to approve reimbursement of wages from liquid fuels fund to the general fund. Last month we approved $6,592.38, and it wasn't accurate. It actually needs to be $7,150.40. So this is a correction to some actions we did last month. Just a difference. Right. So, that's a correct amount from last
We
month.
never dispersed,
Yeah,
so.
so, is there a motion?
Motion accept.
Second.
Motion been moved second for the reimbursement of wages for liquid fuels to the general for $7,150.40. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. Motion passes. Now we need a motion to approve the joint billing of the 2022 real estate taxes with the county. Is that an agreement we just signed?
Yeah, it's usually under $200. It's for the mailing of the tax, printing and the mailing of the tax bills.
All right,
Make a motion to approve joint billing of 2022 real estate taxes with the county of Berks.
Second.
motion's been moved and seconded about the joint billing with the county of Berks. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, all opposed. Motion passes. Okay, motion about the no nonsense agreement and neutering.
Table.
Yeah, let's move till January 3rd for action. And then, item F is discussion motion to seek financing for sewer repairs and borough hall repairs in the amount of $5,000 to $500,000 to $600,000. So in general, we're around 380 right now with our contingency. So there are items we should probably look for if we want to borrow money to get it all at one time for the borough.
Well, we have to get the motion started so that we actually have the money to pay that.
Right.
money.
So the items to do here at the Borough Hall are one, our handicap ramp out front is deteriorating and probably needs replaced. Is that correct?
Yes,
Mhm.
Then item two was like we need doors,
all.
All
vendors
three
should
entry
be replaced.
should be replaced, the fire doors and everything like that.
Yeah, the exterior
Yeah.
entry exit doors.
Gotcha.
The one down here.
Yeah, down to every exterior fire, every door we have needs to be replaced.
Ramp out, handicap ramp.
And then three, we really are not in compliance with ADA outside with our handicap space and how to get in. So there may have to be some sort of ramp. And it gets very technical because you have to have a ramp at a certain slope. There has to be a certain flat area at the top to turn a wheelchair. I mean, it's very prescriptive in the regulations.
Right, the accessible path requirements.
Right.
Are
And
very.
if nothing else, that ought to be driven by the fact that we're required under state law to provide polling places to the county. So this is the biggest influx of public we ever have come in here is during voting events. So it probably should be right if it's going to be a polling place.
And we need to enlarge that opening because it's not technically wide.
Wide enough for
Which
someone
is
to come
why-
on the elevator to come in.
Which is why the door is off.
But yeah, so if you round all that up, that's about another 150,000 or so. And so if we're gonna go borrow money, we just,
And the bathroom and
bathroom fixtures probably need
the
And the
bathroom.
bathroom should be updated.
Yes.
maybe some water saving type things or new fixtures. Is that what you're talking about?
All the fixtures are falling apart.
Yeah.
Toilets have been-
Slight plumbing issues.
Okay. So we have a laundry list of things we could go. And the answer is, do we go ahead and bump up the amount of money we want to borrow? Because we typically negotiate, we can prepay any amount at any time. So we can go and say 600,000, we only use 500,000, we just write the check for the 100,000 whenever we want, don't have to use it. So, I think our rates going up, have they been going up with general inflation and stuff like that?
I don't think.
And we have a choice, we can go, we've used, services before where guys go out and they sort of bid it out. But our first line of request is we usually go to the banks where we have a cash. And they've been very, very good to us in the past because we pay them back. So, so our first line, we'll probably go see what the banks are offering, and then we'll make a decision whether we think it's gonna make any big difference.
Right, and we can always talk
3.8%.
PFM as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus, we have to do an ordinance and we have to get DCED approval.
Right, for borrowings, yeah.
And
yeah,
I don't know how, what
Unless
that,
it would meet the small borrowings for capital purposes.
which I think is
I think it may be
100,000.
I think it may be outside of this at
So-
600.
so anyway, we need to start the ball rolling if we agree on the amount. So that's what this item's on for council discussion, so.
Why don't we just authorize 600,000 if we don't need that much, once we get a good idea what the project will cost?
The
we
final-
don't have to borrow it.
Right, the final, yeah, so to do the shopping for the loan, we need to have a number, and that's what we council.
I'll
really
make a
needs to
motion,
have.
we authorize the borough manager to seek financing
Up to.
And the solicitor,
Up to
because this is a joint
Well,
venture.
right, borough manager and the solicitor to work on seeking financing for sewer repairs, borough hall repairs, amount not to exceed $600,000.
Second.
Most been moved and seconded to advance looking at borrowing money for capital improvements. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.
Yeah, Allison, you and I will discuss our strategy.
Still hearing no public comments via the YouTube channel. We'll move forward from general comments. Public meeting announcements. All public meetings are at St. Lawrence Borough Hall. Council reorganization meeting is January 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Then the council meeting will be immediately following the reorganization meeting. It usually takes about 15 minutes to 25 minutes.
It just depends on if you read all the names.
Yeah, technically you're supposed to read every single thing, and I can read fast if need be. So.
And I will get here as soon as I can. It's a very, in an even numbered year, it's boroughs and townships, so I'll do the best I can to get here.
I can't even remember where we needed our solicitor for actual reorganization meeting, and
No,
I'm wondering why are all your other clients needing you there for theirs?
Well, with some of them, there are new members of council. With one in particular, one borough, there's 4 new members of council.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, so it's right, so yes, they will need me there for a while, so it may take some time.
Good. Well, feel free, if you don't make it, we will, hold that against you.
But I'll give my.
And you have there's no need to send a representative, your backup, so. Well, I don't think we're gonna have anything of that much.
Yeah, no, we will not, there will not be backup. Trust me, it's all hands on deck.
Council, have any other things you want to bring up that we don't have it on the agenda? We can amend the agenda to discuss, or we can adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, one more item, which is not, but just general interest. So I don't know if everyone's aware that through staff, 2 things happened. One, we got this really nice, was it an email or a letter from that school?
It was an email.
An email came in from a school in Alabama, and
Yes.
the kids were working on stormwater and stuff like that, and somehow as they Googled stormwater, it came to our website because we have stormwater links for other things. And they thought it was really good because it got them, I guess the kids didn't have to search like crazy because we had links to other stuff that was very useful. So we got a real nice email back from them on that through Allison's efforts. This was all set up when we had the MS4 permit, which we no longer have, but it's all still in there because in my humble opinion, I think we're end up getting that MS4 permit back. And I worry about that, but so I never told her to discard any of that stuff because it'll come in handy.
I would never discard.
Yeah. Second item is, and I may mention this last year. We always give a sort of gift basket to all the officers in Central Berks, and it usually has like food that they would normally spend money at the convenience store when they buy gas. So it's a nice items that they can munch as on their shifts. And so, and they seem to appreciate that, so, and I don't think the chief's told us before, no other municipality does that.
Made and delivered.
Huh?
Made and delivered.
Right. So, so if you hear something about that or someone mentions it, just so you guys are aware, that's stuff. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Yeah, this is the year we need to submit a waiver again for the permit.
Yeah.
They're gonna come after us.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
It is